Hello everyone. Today Group 1 would like to present their Bulletin Board Project and the code we wrote to achieve the services that we have currently running for our web app. Group 1 consists of Alif, Nada, Otniel, Satria, myself Raphael, and Richly. Uh, you'll be able to skip to varying timestamps depending on which presenter you would like to hear, but as it stands, we will start with Otniel, who will be explaining the model schema, which is the backbone of all the services that we built upon. Followed by Satria, who will be talking about the CRUD operations that we implemented for the various services, and then after that, we will end with me for the backend, and I'll be explaining the GWT tokens and also the OAuth, Google OAuth we implemented using Passport. Uh, and then on the front end side, we will start with Richly, who will be explaining the homepage and also the login model. After that, we will be listening to Alif explaining the different components and the various libraries they use for front end. And lastly, we'll end with Nada explaining the different pages we have other than the home page. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoy.
Alright, I am Otniel and I'm responsible for database and also for the backend. So we know if we use NoSQL, but to make it easier to understand, I can make a visualization so it is similar to RDBMS. We have three tables. First user and then post and comment. User we have some variable like this, and then we can go to post. Post we get some foreign key or something we can connect or refer to user. So author is gotten from the user ID, and then for comment we get many reference. First, to post, so we know this comment went to which post, and then author refers to user, and parent comment refers to itself. Parent comment so mean the comment has a reply. In the backend, we got like this. We use MVC architecture or model view controller. Model controller in the backend and view in the front end. So first, to define that database schema, we go to models folder and we define it. For first, we get user like this. It's same with the database schema, and then we get post. Look, this is we use schema.type.id to author to refer it. And then in comment, as you can see, we get these three schemas.type.object.id to connect it to one another. And then after models created, we throw it to as a comment to the controller. So the controller will handle the logic. So let's see something like comment controller. We import it from models and we make the CRUD, create, read, update, delete from that. And then after that, we export it to the roots folder. So it will uh, handle the root or the path of how to access it and what method we use, like get, post, put, or delete. And this is the database we use. since we don't use RDBMS and we use MongoDB, which is no SQL, we get in the database, it is stored as an object with key and value for each document or each row. If it's RDBMS like this, it's all object, and to refer it, it's use object ID, which color red. This is for comments table, and this is for post table, which refer to author, and then it is user like this.
So I am Satria Ibnu Pamungkas. I will explain the post functionality or post features, especially from the backend. First we go to the app.js. We have the pet post in here. It goes to the post routes, and in post routes we have get all posts, get single post by short ID, create post that includes the Otniel, so it needs the user needs to be authenticated and the data needs to be validated. Same with the edit, and it includes the check ownership, so the one who can edit the post is the owner itself. Same also with the delay. Let's go to get all posts. What we have in here, we get the search page and per page from the query if it's any. The search is to search from the title or content column, and we calculate the pagination here, and we fetch the data post based on the pagination, and additionally we put the comment count as additional data. So the response gonna be like this: we have success, message, data, and pagination. The data is gonna be the post, the paginated post, and the comment count is also there. Next is get single post by short ID. Okay, so from the parameters we got the short ID, and we search that post, and we send the author data, username, email, and short ID to that. After that we try to find all the comments that refer to that post and store it in comment variable and return the data. So we have the post, the comment count, the total comment, and the comment itself. For the create post, we just take from the body and try to create it as simple as that. Simple. Next is update post. Is similar like get single post. We have short ID in the parameters, and it's also same like post. We have the body. Using this method find one and update, we update the post and we return it. Delete post. Delete post is so simple, just take the post ID, we can delete the post, and to remove the error reference, we also delete all the comments associated with the post. And let's go to the validation. In create post, there is create post validation. In here we use express validator. In create post validation, it says that in the title body it must be empty. The error is gonna be title is required. This is the length validation. We set also the message. We trim it, something like that for the body. Content also like that, but the length is minimum 10. The update post is also just copy paste from this. Let's go to the check ownership post maybe. So in check ownership middleware, basically we just check that if the currently login user has the same author ID with the model that are retrieved. This is the one who do the thing. If the model author is not the same, then it's return false. If it's same, it goes to this. We go to the next. In the front end, how we catch that? In the front end, we have the API client, of course, to include the cookies and to check the refresh token and access token. And regarding to the post, we have post slice in here using Redux toolkit. We create async tongue, so we create like async function that fires to the backend. We have fetch all that runs the get all post from the post service files. Many things in here. We tell the initial state. We have post, current post, pagination, status, and error. To use the create async tongue, we use the extra reducer here, and there is some state actually, like pending, fulfilled, and rejected. We use that to change the status also. Then what is the post service? Post service is files that contain all the API call to the backend. We import the API client here. This is the Axios with included cookie and access token before. Yep, I think that's it.
So, my name is Raphael, and for my portion of development, I was able to successfully create or implement, the JWT tokens and the Google OAuth. But since we created or we structured the JWT tokens to be stored in HTTP only, we can't really showcase it through the website, as when we set it to be stored inside HTTP only, the JavaScript engine isn't able to read it at all. So what we can do is utilize Postman, and if I were to hit this post method out for logging in, we would get the access token and the refresh token for my email. And if we were to take a look at the code itself, you could see that we set up a JWT config with edge cases that helps us with debugging, ensuring that our our .env values are correct. If we were to head to the utils JavaScript file, we could see the different functions that we created in order to generate an access token, generate a refresh token to verify these tokens, and implement them later. I'll show you how we implement them in our auth controller and auth middleware. So for the generate access token function, we specified an edge case for all of them to ensure that when we debug there's nothing wrong. And then it returns a signed payload of based on the access token secret that we specified in our .env, and also our access token expire. So by signing this payload, it's able to create the access token. And same for the refresh token as well. And to verify it, we use the verify method, and the parameters are the token itself and the access token value in our .env. Same could also be said for the refresh token as well. And if we were to move along to the controller, here's where we utilize all three of these, or 3 of the 4 functions that we declared earlier. So the first one is based on the user short ID and email. We store it inside a variable called payload, and then we initialize the method here, and we store it as an access token for this specific user with their short ID and email. And we also do the same for the refresh token as well. If we were to move along, this is for the login, essentially the same idea as well as before for register. And this is for debugging purposes. But essentially they would get their new access tokens from this function, because they expire in 15 minutes. So say for example they would like to edit sort of an unauthorized or a protected route. They would check if they have expired tokens, and if they do, they would give them new access tokens and new refresh tokens from this async function. And essentially this is for the Google OAuth, and I'll go into detail about this next. This is to verify our access tokens using the middleware. So the reason why it's not inside the auth controller is because we would need to run this all at any point when they would like to access a protected route, whereas this one contains all of the functions that will be called in when a user does an action. So these ones are essentially just to check if their access token is still available or not. And this one is to check whether they have the required parameters or not for a specific method, or if they're the owners of a post or a comment, so on and so forth. Next, we would like to showcase the config of our passport.js, which is the library we use to implement the OAuth strategy for Google Gmail. So we also use the help of other libraries such as Nanoid for username creation. This was during development where we didn't have a username field yet, so this might be a bit outdated, and also Slugify to branch the username. But essentially, we took the Google strategy and utilized the .env values that we created, and this is to create a new user with a auto-generated username, and essentially it creates a Google ID for those that logged in with Google, and here it checks if it exists or not, and if it doesn't, then it'll create the user based on the Google ID, email, and the username it created. And yeah, I can showcase how that looks like here. So here's what our homepage looks like. If I were to click sign in, we would have the option to continue with Google, and if we were to click here, for this demonstration I'll use this account, and as you can see, it's able to relay back my username, and I'm able to scroll as usual, and I guess I can update my bio here. Testing for our video. And then for username, we can change it to like Kada group 1. Oops. Right. We can't. Oops. Alright. My bad. Group 1. Testing for video purposes. As you can see, it's able to successfully save my changes. And if I were to refresh, it also updates it here as well. That's pretty much it for my portion of the development. Thank you so much for listening.
So we are at the component home. It is the main page or the main dashboard for the application. Has function to display the posts and support paginations and provide delete posts if the currently signed in user is the author, and display some information about the comments. First of all, we have the necessary imports that we use effect and state hook. We also use selector and use dispatch. This is the hook from Redux to read and send action to the store global, and any other things. First place, we have state and Redux that we use. This for dispatch, send action like fetch post or delete post. We also have state post. It has the data of post, status, error, and pagination. Post is for the list of the posts that will be displayed, and status is the loading data status. It consists of loading, succeed, and fail. And we have also error for the error handling message, and the pagination. And the state auth is contain the information of the user that is currently signed in. The page is the local state of the active page. It will start at 1. Next, we have a use effect. This effect is to fetch data when the component is loaded, and this effect will be run every time the page is changed. Fetch post page will send action to Redux to retrieve the list of posts from the backend with the parameter page, and the Redux will store the results in the state post. Next, we have a function to delete the post. So when the user click this button, the function will be called. Dispatch delete post short ID will send action to Redux to erase the posting in the backend. If it succeeds, it will display a toast of post deleted successfully, and if it's failed, it will display an error message with a toast. So we have a function of the view profile is currently just a dummy, and it will only display console log. Next, we have a condition of loading an error. If it's loading post, it will display loading post, while if it's error, it will show this message failed to load post. Next, we have the part to render the list of the posts. So if post is not empty, we do the map to display every post. Author name is to handle the data structure of the author, surname, the username, or the author. And this is the overall structure of each post and displayed in the card, in the form of card. So we have a link is to wrap the whole card so it can be clicked to direct the user into the detailed post. And we have delete icon button, which is we know that will be displayed if the currently signed in or the current user posts the post itself. And we also have prevent default and propagation, and as the function to prevent the navigation from going back to the detail when a delete button is clicked. Moving on to the next. We have to display the author and the post content. So I will display the author name and will retrieve the content length of a 200 first character, and it will give these dots if it is longer than 200 character. Moving on to the next, we have a part to display comments and add comment link here. We will display a total of the comments, and if the comment counts, if we don't have a comment count, we will use the length of the p comments. Also, we have a button or link to write the to the detail post with the comments icon. Also have a pagination. So if the total of the page is more than 1, we display the navigation button, and we have a button of pref and next. We also display the total number of the page, but we only display the first and the last and the currently active page in the small screens, and if we use it on desktop, all page will display. And when of the buttons is clicked, set page will be called, and use effect will run again, which results in the fetch post page with called, and the data is updated. But if we have no post, it will display a message no post yet. And this is the final of the home component. Moving on to the next component, this is auth modal. So in the first part, we have the imports we will use. And moving on to the next, we have the signature and props. The component will receive one prop. It's called handle auth. It will handle auth success, but currently this prop is not used at all. Moving on to the next, we have const dispatch. Use dispatch to send action to the Redux, and we also handle close function. It's the function that when it's called, it will dispatch a function. It's called closed auth modal. And this is the state local mode, and mode will control the active display. It will use two values in the code that will sign in or sign up or register. And switch mode is the simple wrappers for the set mode. And moving on to the next, we have the main structure of the JSX. We have an overlay that will catch a click outside the modal area and will answer the handle close function that will close the modal. The component modal that will display the modal itself also will receive handle close function. The modal header will display the title that will depends on the mode, and will provide a close button that also will handle close. Moving on to the next, we have two buttons. The first one is login button and the sign up button. The first button will call the function switch mode sign in, and the second button, which is the sign up button, will switch mode to the sign up button. We also use ARIA press mode. This is a simple accessibility that will mark the state of the button. And we have a conditional render for the form itself. If the mode is sign in, like we use in this button, so it will render the auth modal sign in. If not, it will render the auth modal register. This form is given the prop on success will handle close, which is if the form is succeeded, the form will call a on success handle close. And the handle close will be called and will display the close auth modal, and auth modal will be closed. The last part, we have a class component. It's called auth modal register. This component is to handle the process of the account registration, and the main modal, the first modal, is the auth modal. It will validate the form, send data to the Redux to be stored, and will display the notification to resolve. First we have the imports, and next we have the state and the Redux. we use dispatch. We also use status to mark the process stages and the error. If there is an error, the user, if the data of the new user in case of the success registration and is submitting to lock the button, so it cannot be clicked twice. Next we have the form setup using a React hook form. And the register is to register the input, so it can be managed by a React hook form. We also use the watch password is used, so the field confirm password can compare the value with the field password. And the errors will contain the error message from the validation. Next is the use effect to see the result of the registration. So if the registration is succeed, there will be displayed a notification of succeeded registration, and it will run the function on success user, and it will reset the status of their handling success. If it failed, will display a notification of error, and also it will reset the state. We have the on submit function to submit the data form to the Redux tongue of registered user, and this method unwrap is to ensure if there is an error, will be thrown to the cache, and the is submitting will be active as long as the process. And next we have the render of the main form. Each form input has its own validation. If for the email input, it follows this regular expression. Also have username and password and the form of confirm password. If the validation fails, there will be an error message with this. We also have an alternative to sign in via Google. We also have a button to move from the register page or modal to the sign in form. So this is the next component. It's called auth modal sign in. As usual, in the first place, we import the components. We use Redux, React hook form, and Toast. Next part is the state and Redux. We use the use selector to check the user, our status, and the error from the Redux slice. We also use is submitting to keep the button so it cannot be clicked twice. And this is the form setup of the React hook form. We use register to tie the input to the form system with errors to handle the error message, and we also use handle submit to handle the validation before we call on submit. Next part is the use effect. So if the login succeed, it will throw a notification and it will call on success user. If fail, it will throw a notification of error, and both will reset the out state, so the status is not quote-unquote stick to the global state. And we have the main function. It's on submit. Is the dispatch thunk of login data from the Redux. We also use unwrap to throw an error if it is failed. That will be handled by catch. And the state is submitting will is set to for the button to change to signing in. Next we have the render part for the main form. This the form input is the component input to with a label and error message. Submit auth button will be changed. Submit auth button text will be changed with the login process is running. And we have a Google login button for alternative to login via Google. This is an error global message. Also a button to the register. Will be displayed global error from Redux is if there is an error, and the sign up button will call the switch to register function, and it will change the mode of the modal to the register form.
Okay, so I'll be explaining a bit about our front-end part, mainly about the components that we build and also the libraries that we use. So our project use React as the main framework, and we try to make the structure as clean as possible and modular as possible inside the SRC. Inside the SRC folder, we separated things into folders like the components, pages, services, store, and etc. Just to make it easier to manage. Now let's talk about the components. Basically, components are like building blocks in React, like small pieces that we can reuse in different parts of the apps. For example, inside the components folder, we have smaller parts like buttons, comments, header, input, modal, and post. In the button folders, we created some of reusable icon and button, such as delete button, edit icon button, Google login, and submit alt button, so we don't have to rewrite the same button code every time. We just import the components. Then in the comment folder, we made comment form and comment items. In here we handle the add comment section, and here is the where we handle the edit and the save comments. And onto the next components, we have headers, and in the headers folder we have components that make up to our navigation bar, like header auth button, header logo, and header search. The header also changes depending on whether the user is logged in or not. We also have the input for the form, and we have modal. In here, in the modals are for things like the auth modal, the register, the sign in, the modal itself, the modal header, and the overlay for the modal. And we have post for handling the post detail edit form. Now moving on to the libraries that we use. So first we have React Router DOM, which we use for navigation. For example, in post CRUD, here we import it as use navigate, so we can move between pages like home, profile, or post details without reloading the whole app or the page. Then we use Lodash rebound. We use Lodash debounce here for the header search. We use this because it's really useful for search bar. Basically, it delays the search request until the user stops typing for a moment, so it doesn't spam the API. For example, in here, so we're gonna search outer post below. Out. So as you can see, the search will only load if I stop typing. Like that. And the next is Lucid React. So Lucid React provides all the icon in the website. We choose it because the icon is simply modern and they match the web design style. So as you can see here, we import the trash icon using the Lucid React. And lastly, we use toast. So toast is for the error toast is for error handling. We use it for error handling, so it gives us various of design, like for example here, toast.fire icons success and title sign out successfully. Let me try. Here we have toast. So overall, we tried to make our front-end code modular and efficient so that every component is easy to maintain and reuse. It also helped team members work on different parts of the UI without messing with each other codes. So yeah, that's it for me.
Okay, this is the homepage view. The code is home.gxs. Home.gxs is the main pages that display all blog posts in our platform. Okay, let me explain the library and technical implementation. First, the library we use is RIA and RIA Redux. This is for state management and component architecture. The second library is RIA Router DOM. This is for client-side navigation between pages. The third is Lucid React. This is for consistent scalable icons. The circle for commands. And the fourth is toast utility. This is for user feedback notification, yeah. Okay, next to the technical implementation. These pages serve as the homepage where user can browse all blog posts, sorry. Now, it connects to the Reddit store to access the post data, loading states, and pagination information. And the use evacs hook automatically fetches posts ya when the component tuh when user change the pages, and each post is displayed in interactive card with the hover effects and smooth navigation animation. And the pagination system is responsive ya. For example, on the mobile, it shows only essential page numbers to save space. Now, while desktop display all available pages, and security feature ensure that delete buttons only appear on the post owned by current user, with the proper event handling to prevent accidental navigation. Okay, this is the profile page view. The code name is profile.gxs. Profile.gxs handles user profile display and management with comprehensive features. Oh yeah, the view is we have username, ID, bio, and this button edit profile, and we can click comments or posts. The code the GXS is delivery views. First is React and React Redux is for state management and user data. Second is React Router DOM. This is for URL parameter handling and navigation. That is Lazy React. This is for user profile icons. And the last is React Hook Form. This form for efficient form handling with built-in validation. Next to the technical implementation, these pages dynamically handles both profile viewing and editing. Now, it extracts the user's ID, the user's ID from URL parameters to determine which profile to display. Okay, the system automatically sends user to their own profiles when no specific profile is specified. The profile editor uses React Hook Form with comprehensive validation roles. Is for username. Okay. For username, it must be 3 until 20 characters with only letters, numbers, and underscores. Okay, while bios have 200 character limits. Okay, and then the tab system organize content into posts and comments, each with their own loading stage and empty message. And multiply use evac hooks and so proper data synchronization, fetching profile data, posts, and comments when needed. Okay, the component maintains excellent user experience with loading stage, error handling, and success notification through all interaction. Okay, that's all for home.gxs and profile.gxs.
I hope you enjoyed the presentation that Group 1 showcased today. If you have any questions or queries regarding any of the group members, feel free to reach any of us individually or as a group. We would like to hear your thoughts. And with that, thank you so much for watching. See you later.